Okay, hello, good morning. It's August 7th. You may note there was a very short aborted walk. I was talking away, got a few blocks, not too far, and realized that I had not actually put on my microphone. It's still sitting back in the house. And since I think there's a good chance that there was no sound on that first part, I decided I would just restart. Here we are. Just using the microphone on the phone today because of that little error on my part. But it works. I've done many this way too, so I won't worry about that. But to reiterate, the plan is to walk along Regina Avenue all the way to Pasqua, then south on Pasqua as far as I can go before I decide it's time to head back. That's what we're going to do. The other thing I was talking about, which you may or may not have heard, well, if you're just joining this one, you haven't heard it, was saying it was a good day in Saskatchewan because the Saskatchewan Roughriders won their home opener, Canadian Football League, at Mosaic Stadium last night in front of a packed house, which was great to see. It didn't look like it was going to be close at all. We were up 31-0 at one point. The Riders just scored 3 times in succession. Or 4, I guess. There's maybe a field goal in there too. And then BC managed, it was the British Columbia Lions we were playing, they managed to scrape their way back to within a touchdown, but they didn't get it. We won. I like this garden and that very interesting house, which I'd love to see inside. I say that every time, but so far I haven't been asked in. Don't know why. Probably because they're not watching this. Smoky today. You might be able to see the orange tint in the light. It's a sure sign of smoke. Not too hot yet, but it's supposed to be 32 later, so that's the reason I had to get out and get going here. Even though my preference would be to sit around the house on a Saturday morning. I'm looking at that house every time I go by. You can see these dark splotches on the sidewalk. That's these trees. Well, having said that, I just moved past the last of them, but the trees have been dumping sap all over everything. My car is sticky to the touch, and it's been washed 2 or 3 times, and it comes back in no time at all. I remember some of that from previous years, but not like this year, and I guess it's a function of the heat. This weather reminds me of the 80s. We had some really hot years in the 80s, and that I remember, at least one that I remember for sure. And grasshoppers, massive grasshopper plagues, and it was blowing dirt, and it looked like the 30s in spots. I took pictures of drifts of topsoil up against fences with tumbleweeds in them. It was very well, apocalyptic might be a little over the top, but it was very worrisome at the time. Big drought in the 80s. Morning. I can remember one year when it was something like 80 degrees Fahrenheit in April. Very unusual. Okay, we're going to walk. Why do I remember the weather from the 80s? Because I was a newspaper reporter at the time, so I had reason to take note at the time. Generally, we're really bad about remembering weather, and whether or not it was hot or cold. Okay, walking west on Regina Avenue. I'm just gonna walk all the way down this side of Regina Avenue, which I don't think I've done, to Pasqua Street. And we'll go south on Pasqua until it's time to head back. Sorry about the sound, hopefully it's okay. It's not too windy, so shouldn't get too much wind noise, although once I get out to Pasqua where there's fewer trees, it might be windier. Gosh, there's the creek over there, but we're not walking along that today. Here you can see these dark patches on the sidewalk. That's sap from the trees. It's actually tacky to my feet. I think my horizon's a little off, but there's nothing I can do about that. Here especially, see that? My feet are sticking to it as I walk on it. Watch out for the tree. I got in the last story by an author other than me. I still haven't written mine, for Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. Just came in this morning. Looking forward to reading it and sending off the contract and all that. I started it. Looks good. So it's very exciting. I now have all of the stories except the one I'm writing, which means this weekend I'll send out an update with the table of contents, probably. Not the final order. I'll probably make that decision later, but I'll be able to say, here's the titles of all the stories you have to look forward to in Shapers of Worlds Volume 2. And now that I have that, I can also make a pretty good estimate on the total length of the book. I can start put it into a single Word file and see. I suspect it's about 120,000 words. Is my guess. Possibly, well, no, I don't think it'll be any less. 120,000 words. Most came in at around 5. Several were over that. A few were under that. And there's one really, really long one from S.M. Sterling, which I think will be the closing piece. It's a reprint. And he offered it to me for the maximum I was willing to offer for reprints. He said this was way longer than that, but he was still willing to offer it to me, so I took it. Because, you know, it's a long story by S.M. Sterling. Nobody's going to complain about a long story from him. So I'm pretty sure my first story will be from Kelly Armstrong, and I think the closing story will be from S.M. Sterling. But the order of the others I have not yet decided on. A nice little garden along the side here, that newer house. Oh, who's there? Good morning, TG. Is that TG? I think that says TG or TC. TC. Good morning. Glad to know that YouTube is working. There was an aborted, like 3-minute video before this one because I realized after I'd walked a little ways that I'd left my microphone off at home. And rather than walk back and get it, I just switched over to the microphone on the phone. The phone mic, or the mic phone. Phone, camera. What are these things anyway? Pocket computer, really. Very science fiction-y. Walking west on Regina Avenue. How long have I lived in Regina? I moved here in 1988. Fall of 1988. So, what is that now? 33 years, I guess? A third of a century? I'd rather not think about it in those terms. And you can see the dark patch on the sidewalk from the sap from the trees that's been dropping with the heat. Pasqua Street. I think along here is about as far as I've walked along Regina Avenue this direction on this side of the street. So now we're in new territory, sort of. I've walked on that side of the street, just not on this side of the street. Yeah, I'm old. Just turned 62, so that's half my life now. More that I've lived here, more than half my life, which always surprises me because I don't think of myself as being from Regina. I grew up in Weyburn, and yet I only lived in Weyburn. Now that I think back on it, I moved there, I guess 20 years I lived in Weyburn. And a couple of those years I was at university in Arkansas. And we moved up here from Texas, and I was born in New Mexico. So I'm not really from Regina, but I have to say I'm pretty much from Regina now. It's a long, straight sidewalk. Which has recently been redone because this is a very new sidewalk. Wheelchair ramp. I don't know if it's a private home or somebody that needs a wheelchair ramp or a small care home. Didn't have a sign, so I presume it's a private home. There's apartments more on the other side along here. Yeah, that one has a wheelchair ramp too. One of these days I'll do a walk that's just in the alleys. Although one does get tired of blue recycle bins as your main talking point. Sheldon Williams Collegiate is over there. It's our nearest high school, but that's not where my daughter went to school. She went to Luther College High School, which is a private school. Not too far from here. I walked by it. Was it last weekend I was out at Government House? I think that was last weekend. And I walked by Luther. The lights up there are Pasqua Street. If you keep going this way, you end up at the Regina International Airport, but it's not very pedestrian friendly. I don't know if I'll ever walk out there or not. Tree house in the back of that house, without a tree, but I guess it's still a tree house. Stand of prairie lilies there in front of that house. Our provincial flower. It's starting to look a little past their prime, but it's still there. Oh, glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm a dual citizen, actually. For a long time, I was just a landed immigrant. But sometime after I got married, I realized, I probably am staying in Canada. But I didn't want to give up my American citizenship. There are benefits to that. The downside is I have to file taxes in the US every year, but I don't have to pay anything. I just have to file at my level of income. So that's a nuisance, but otherwise there's helpful, especially with some of my publishers being in the States. I have a social security number, in the States, which helps with all that sort of thing. I've walked down this side, so I think I'm actually going to try walking down the other side of Pasqua here. The sidewalk will peter out, but I should be able to keep going. This is a senior citizens home over there. Santa Maria. I've never walked by before, so yeah, the sidewalk ends up here, so there won't be much sidewalk walking, but that's okay. Never been in there. I've been in a lot of them, but not that one. Ow! So how long have I come to get to here? 16 minutes. Technically 20, because there was 4 there on that first failed stream, but we're probably going to get more wind noise out here because we're close to prairie. Well, you can see. The real Saskatchewan landscape. We'll walk out here to the ways by the ball diamond. So, a reminder that every tree that I've been walking by was planted by somebody. There's the airport over there. China International Airport. And the real prairie looks like that. Now there's a slight rise there. That's not the far horizon. You can see there's sort of half buildings popping up over there. But still, that's what you see in Saskatchewan when you're not in the cities. Okay, this is not the most fascinating piece of land. It's just a big gravel parking lot. But a couple of ball diamonds here. There you can see the back of the senior citizens home. I'll go back over to the grass. I'll be forced to do that anyway, a little further up. That's the Louvain over there. That's the faster north-south route. Faster down here. More lights a little further up. There we go. I'll walk down here between the rows of trees. I don't know how far I can go down this side before I run into something that will cause me trouble, but let's find out. Mennonite church there, across from us. Oh, batting cages. Another ball diamond coming up here. So there's the Mennonite church. Over on the left side is Lakeview Par 3 golf course, which I've walked by before. I didn't expect to run into traffic. This is Columbus Park, named after the Knights of Columbus, as it says. Well, Knights of Columbus, 2005 Saskatchewan Centennial Project. Knights of Columbus. I know I'm close to the prairie because there's the occasional grasshopper jumping up around my legs out of this grass. Well, there appear to be 6 diamonds because this one has a 6 on it. Well, there'll be wind noise on right there. There'd be some even with my lapel mic, but it's closer to me, so it tends not to be as noticeable. Diamond number 6. It's too bad they mowed the grass, otherwise this would be a diamond in the rough. Ba-dum-bum. Hey, Lakeview Golf over there. I will have to move up closer to the road to get over the bridge up here. Because we're coming to, I don't know if it's Proper Creek, Storm Channel, at least. Oh, look, I found water. Didn't expect that. I must have been watering ball diamond. Squish, squish, squish. Try to stay up out of the ditch here. Of course, that forces me to walk on a slant, so a little higher might help. I have to come up here to cross the bridge anyway. There's the golf course. So I've walked along here on that side of the Pasqua, but not on this side until now. A few trees over here. I'll go down and take a look at the creek. I doubt there's any water in it. Grasshoppers flying around. Yeah, what's that? Well, it's just, you know, I grew up here at the age of 8. Always, if you're on Facebook or something asking why I live in Saskatchewan, not somewhere else. I grew up here. I started my career in Weyburn at the Weyburn Review as a newspaper reporter, editor, got a job in Regina, fell in love, got married. She's an engineer, her job's in Regina. As a freelance writer, I can live anywhere, and so I'm here. It's home. Everybody's got to be somewhere. Performance Marine, if you're looking to buy a boat. Airplane taking off from the airport over there. Oh, grasshopper jumped and hit me in the face. We sell fun all year long. Don't let summer pass you by. That should rhyme, but it doesn't. We should have made it rhyme. Nothing rhymes very well with long. Or we sell fun. Don't be shy. Don't let summer pass you by. Almost works. This used to be Dutch Growers greenhouse something else before that, Lakeview Gardens, I think. And for years, we've come in here every Christmas and bought our Christmas tree, and we've bought other things here. They've moved. They're out alongside the Trans-Canada now. Which is a shame. It was really nice going in here at Christmas time. My daughter loved to come here at Christmas time. However, things change. She's been out to the new one, but I haven't. So, don't know what the eventual fate of this will be. For now, it's just empty, it looks like. I think I will go to the other side now. Getting very close to the Louvain over there, so there's not really much now between Pasqua Street and the Louvain, except weeds. I had my fill of walking in weeds a few weeks ago when I got trapped between the ring road and Arcola East. So I walked through quite a few weeds. How long have we been out? 27 minutes. Well, I should probably turn around and head back then. Not turn around, but I will now go left. Go left, young man. Except that's actually east, so I guess if you go east, young man. I'm not a particularly young man. Go east, youngish man. Go east, young at heart man. There you go. Stepped in a rut. I'm gonna break an ankle yet. The problem is that you don't look down at your feet when you're doing this. You look up. It's easy to do what I just did, which is almost, well, not almost, I did twist it, but not enough to be too much of a problem. No way through there, so. And there's the ferry, Harbor Landing over there. I might walk there tomorrow, or I might go up further along the Devonian pathway. Don't know yet. I think I can find my way through here. I think I've done it before. Oh, I thought there was a sidewalk in front of it. Oh, there's a path. There's a path through the garden. I knew I had done something along here. So we'll take the path through the garden. Somebody's been weeding. This is the Taoist Tai Chi Society in this building. These are mostly businesses, offices, I mean. McNair Business Development Inc. says that one. Airplane from the airport. The view of the prairie. Family foot clinic. now. If I twist my foot again, I might need that. Gallery Dental, Dr. Christy White. And a South Pharmacy. I'm sure some of these places will be open later, but it's only 20 after 9 here, so. Pharmacy. I will head to the left just as soon as I get a path. I'm now definitely going to be a full hour. Nope. Howdy. I guess it's Aho or Ajo. Probably Aho. Unifor. This is the union headquarters. And here's a road that will take me in the direction I want to go. So we will leave behind Prairie, the edge of town here. Harbor Landing over there. And start the trek back to Angus Crescent. Take us into residential area again. And there's the wind is gone. Probably better sound, but I missed the breeze. Let's go straight. I often zigzag, but I'm going to only go left when forced to until I get to the street that will take me home. That's the plan for this walk, just to be different than I sometimes do. King Street. We are on McPhail if you're following along on Google Maps, which I'm sure you're not. McPhail and King. Morning. Morning.
That's an interesting way to look at something. Are you watching the
No, I'm recording my walk. And I put it on YouTube.
Oh, how far do you go?
Oh, usually about an hour.
Okay.
I've walked in a lot of different places. This is like my 150th consecutive day of doing it.
Where do you walk?
I started on Angus Crescent, and that's where I'm headed back to.
So, okay, but you
Now, this time I came all along Regina Avenue, then I came up Pasqua to here, and then my first half hour was over, so now I'm heading back again. Look it up. It's called Walking in Regina. You do that on, check that out on YouTube and you'll see them. In fact, you'll hear this conversation. Thank you. I thought I was watching the Olympics, which, you know, I guess I could be. Then I'd really start running into things. Hi, Miriam in India. Lots of rain. Well, I wish we were having lots of rain. They keep putting some in the forecast and then it usually doesn't show up. So, all right, well, we have to go left, so let's go left. Bit of sticky tar there. St. Mark's Lutheran Church. That means, yes, the community garden is right over there. I thought that's where we were. But I didn't set out to walk to the community garden. So I won't walk through it today, but oof, trip. Ow! Missed a driveway that went down further than I expected. I really am going to hurt myself on this walk. Interesting. Well, let's go over there just because I'm here, and what's the point of going by the garden if you don't go through it? But I want to keep going that direction. Grow Regina. Take a path through it here. Evergreen accessible garden. I guess if you need shade or something. Sunflowers. More sunflowers. The birds. I think my wife was asking what these are. They're disinfectant wipes. Probably not normally here. I can smell dill. Some tomatoes growing down there. Corn. More corn over here. There's some fruit trees over there. This is the gazebo I pointed out several times. That was designed by local artist Victor Sikansky. Oh, peas or beans. Okay, well, I didn't really intend to end up here, but since I did, there you go. Grow Regina Community Garden. Smells like dill pickles. The dill is the strongest smell. East Orchard. Crab apples, I would think, some of them. I don't know what else you can grow here. Plum, Saskatoon. Okay, plum trees, Saskatoon berries. Oh. Cool. All right, we'll carry on. This way. There's a park up there I often walk through, but today I'm heading more directly home. Not much water in the storm channel. Usually walk down this way because I usually go through the park, so this makes it a little different as well. Allen Avenue. We'll go down Allen. The avenues run east-west. The streets run north-south. That was Queen Street we were on. Here's a big new one. That one's huge. And clearly fairly recently built. You can still see faintly the seams of the sod in the grass. Not sure what the little green guy is in the yard here, but he looks cheerful. It's a kid with a dog, and it's on a bend, so it might be intended to catch the attention of cars going by. Sprinklers are refreshing at this point of the walk. Is it going to hit me? Will I get some ankle watering? No, not really. That swung us around to King. Oh, another big one on that corner. And there's the park over there, so I'm going to keep going this way. I think. Yeah, stick to the avenue. Pretty big new one as well. The other landmark is the sound of the Louvain, the traffic going. It's behind me, so that tells me I'm moving in the right direction too. Not that I really had any doubt, but. Smaller houses in here that are, I would guess, 60s construction. Yep, this brought me back right where I thought it would. We have St. Luke's Anglican Church with a distinctive roof. To the right, is. And as I often point out, this is their fellowship hall where I used to rehearse quite a bit for shows. Not recently. Once upon a time. The giant Lego blocks, as I think of them, blocking off whatever used to be there, possibly a gas station, I don't know. And then this is the Hill Avenue shopping center, street, area. Hill Avenue, anyway. There you go. I've walked here before, but I'll walk here again. Coco Nail Lounge. Houston Pizza. Invu. I always have to look to see what that is. Some sort of salon, I think. Denture Clinic. Kitchen store. 7-Eleven over there. Morning. Coffee shop, Brewed Awakening. Hill Avenue Drugs. Another hair place, and then a grocery store here on the corner. Lakeview Fine Foods. As I said, I bought many a drink at that 7-Eleven to get ready for rehearsal when we rehearsed over there. But not for a long time now. This is a four-way stop, so it should be a safe place to cross. All right, and then this will take me straight up. Well, it's Montague on this side, turns into Elphinstone. But I'll probably go sideways into the streets to the right just to get away from the traffic. Is this an alley? This is an alley. We'll take the alley. They're more peaceful. Blue bins are recycling, brown bins are garbage. There's a few places where they're doing a pilot program for like lawn waste. So green bins then for grass and leaves and stuff. But that was only in one area I've walked. I don't know if they're planning to adopt it more widely or not. I'll stick to the alleys this time. Usually I'll get barked at. Uh-huh. Dogs hate it when you walk down their alley and they're in the backyard. Cooler back here in the shade too. Still not all that hot, but it's warm enough for walking purposes. Probably 21 or 22 by now. Going to 32, so another hot one. Some smaller sunflowers than the huge ones you sometimes see, including on the next corner. Let's see, there's some bigger ones over here. And I walked by much bigger ones out at the garden, the community garden, that is. Lots of birds around. Thanks, Aho. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Corella? I'll have to look that up. The flag is very small. Is that Mexico? In which case it'd definitely be Aho. My eyes are not good with fine print and bright sunshine, so sometimes I just do the best I can. And I don't want to wear reading glasses while I walk around. That would be silly. Stick to the alleys. Seeing lots of sunflowers. They seem to be very popular. Ow. There's Regina Avenue, so we're advancing here. I've walked down here before. By the Beware of Dog sign and then woof, woof, woof. Not the first time I've chosen to walk down the alley here. Looks familiar. Let's see. Well, the next one is, well, that wasn't Regina Avenue. Of course, I haven't gone that far yet. We're very close to the bridge, so let's go down by the school. Down by the Lakeview School. Here you can see how dark the sidewalk is. That's from the sap. It's come out of that tree. And everything is sticky with it. That's been going on for weeks. Wash the car, park it. Within a couple of days, it's as sticky as flypaper. Almost. I suppose if it was really as sticky as flypaper, it'd be covered with flies, but sticky anyway. Lakeview United Church. Another place I've rehearsed many a show. And this is Lakeview School. Lakeview is a popular name for things here in the Lakeview neighborhood. The funniest thing about which, of course, is that the lake is several blocks that way, and you can't see it from anywhere in Lakeview, except maybe one row of houses over by the bridge. So Lakeview is a bit of a misnomer, I guess. I just noticed they have a windsock up on top in the shape of an airplane. No, that's not what that is. It's a bird. That's funny. It's a bird, a crow, sitting on the chimney cap. But my mind is, the first thing I saw was like a World War II airplane, and now it looks like a flying saucer with a fin to my eyes until I look closer. Well, it would be very interesting if they did have a... Yeah, we'll go through the schoolyard. There's a daycare in here, so that's the little playground over there. And this would be for the bigger kids. Yeah, that's a crow up there. Doesn't look like a flying saucer anymore. schoolyard. Hardball is prohibited on these grounds. I always wonder how old that sign is. Clearly they had a problem with it at some point. Maybe it was breaking windows or breaking kids' noses. I don't know. I think those represent torches. That's my best guess. That pattern in the brick. Torch of learning kind of thing. I mean, I could be wrong, but it seems like as good a guess as any. Okay. Oh, somebody's been out here painting stripes. Look at those crosswalks. Glistening and new. Well, this road was completely resurfaced, so two things go together. Point out these new houses along here. They're still, one of them is still for sale. Sign's been up for as long as I've been walking, I think. You can see the darkness of the sticky sap here on the sidewalk. In the school zone, I can speed up to more than 30 now. Big newish one there, next to the little original ones from this neighborhood, which tend to be these very small houses, which are probably post-World War II, when they really needed a lot of housing in a hurry. And here we are at the footbridge again, or we will be in a moment. Regina Avenue, looking down toward Albert Street in the park, the lake. We'll cross this bridge now that we've come to it. This side, just walking. Oh, they've cut down they've trimmed down all these bushes along here since the last time I walked this way. You know, I saw a crew out here working, but I didn't know this is what they were doing. They'll come back. But now you can see the creek more. Yeah, but this is just like a wall of bushes over here, and they've trimmed them all down. I'm not sure why. Just to allow more visibility of the path, maybe? As a safety thing. I'm not aware of there being any particular problem along this piece of the dike, but it's weird. Well, it was worth coming this way just to see this, because I had no idea until just now that they'd done it. Makes the view quite different, because there is one instead of being behind the bushes. They'll grow back and get cut down again, no doubt. Okay, let's take this path. I've done this once in a while. Go down to the alley here. Since I've been walking through alleys last little bit, I might as well carry on for the last leg here home. Here's Retallick right over here. 3 more blocks and we will be done. I used to know the people that lived there, but I don't anymore. They moved. So else I like with the turret. As you know, if you watched enough of these, I like turrets. There's a good one. Leopold Crescent, and then 1 more block. And I'm at Angus Crescent where I will stop. Leopold Crescent. And my traditional stopping point when I come this direction is the stop sign, because that seems to make sense. That's what I will do. It's a little over an hour. Alrighty, so thank you for walking with me if you're still with me live, or if you're watching the recording and you've come to the end of it, thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't know where I'll walk yet, but I'll be back. Bye for now.